Hey guys, welcome back to the Q Life. Thanks for joining us again. Today we're going to go over some things and some questions that we had recently talked about. You probably saw my eyes go down. I have this little piece of paper. It's kind of hard without a script, for being a second video. But yeah, today we're going to go over some questions of what it was like when we were ready, when we knew we were ready to start trying to have a baby. It had been on our honeymoon, on our first day of being newlyweds. Mm-hmm. I had told her, and I looked her dead in the eyes, and I said, this is the time that I am ready for a kid. I want a family with you, and this is what's in my heart right now, and this is what I'm compelled to say and actually feel.
And I said, no.
She did say no.
I said, no. I would say, like Chris just said, he told me he wanted to have a baby the night that we got married. He was like, let's do it. We can do it. Like, we've known each other for 4 years at the time that we got married. He was like, we've known each other long enough. We'll figure it out. Let's do it. I told him no. And the reason I did wasn't because I wasn't ready, but we were living in his parents' basement. We had just gotten new jobs after being unemployed for 4 months-ish.
We needed to be more stable.
Yeah, we even though I was confident with my relationship with him, I was like, how do we bring a child into this? We're just figuring out being married. I can't even imagine figuring out being parents together on top of that and all this other stress. But I had to make a deal. I couldn't just look at him and say, we can't have kids. He needs to know when or what are the conditions or what have you. And so yeah, we just made a list of where we wanted to be at.
What we needed to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And what we needed to do to be, I guess, set ourselves up for success in being parents. Right.
If we made these goals, that meant that we really wanted it. And in my eyes, that proved to me that we were ready. If you set yourself a goal, especially financially, it's really hard. You want to go on vacation, you want to buy nice cars, you want to go do things and go out and stuff. And
I like shoes.
You like shoes. And
basketball shoes.
So for me, it was if we reached these goals, that means we wanted it. That means we sacrificed, and maybe we didn't go on that trip that we really wanted to go on, or maybe we didn't go out to that nice restaurant for dinner. By the time that we started making those goals, I was almost 21, and so I kind of was we've waited this long, can I just be 21, go drink a little bit? We ended up having a vacation, after my birthday. And so it worked out. It was I got a drink, go on vacation, have drinks with, my family, with Chris, and just have that experience, which was really nice. And I think after that trip, it was we've done it. We've gone on vacation, we've met our goals, we've worked on ourselves personally, because that's also huge. And yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah. And a lot of things come with this question too, is when did you know you were ready? And we just like to express that it's really, really important to talk to your partner or your spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, about what you're really feeling at the end of the day around this sort of topic. So was it difficult for, trying to get pregnant? For us personally, no. It was not. It actually happened pretty fast, and we consider that a big blessing. Mm-hmm. But was it difficult to wait the amount of time? Absolutely. And it will be difficult for a while. You got to work with the person that you're with constantly on everything. Every situation, what you do affects them, and what they do affects you.
Right. I would say it being difficult to wait, no. In my book, just because I'm a very financial goal-driven person.
It was difficult for me.
And so for him, it was like more of an emotional, like, I want to have this child. And for me, I was very like, okay, but if we have a baby, these are the numbers. This is what daycare costs. This is, we have to get you a new car because you only have 2 doors. Like, I'm a huge numbers person. And so for me, like, emotionally, yes, I wanted a kid. But financially, that's what, like, kept me grounded throughout waiting, was the numbers did not add up at all. And so I didn't want to put ourselves in that situation, and that child in that situation. Was it difficult to get pregnant? So this is a longer one for me. So as a woman, yes. Like, this is one, yes. Like, I was very insecure, and I actually got off birth control 2 months before we started trying to make sure that it all got out of my system. And I got the ovulation tests and all the pregnancy tests, and I had the apps and was tracking my cycles, but my cycles were irregular. So the apps didn't tell me, they didn't even give me like a good idea of when I was going to ovulate. And then the ovulation test kept coming back negative. And so I just felt like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me. Like, I'm not ovulating. Like, this little test that I bought says I'm not. So how can I get pregnant? And so we were trying July, August, September, October. For me, yes, like, emotionally it was really difficult. The whole process was very stressful, but it worked out. So that's really nice.
And the thing I would like to say to that, you know, I didn't reach for Peyton's emotions and how she felt about that at the current time.
Mm-hmm.
when we were trying to get pregnant, and dudes coming straight from me, you know, always have your woman's back on what she's feeling. Always ask her every day how she's feeling, how she's doing mentally, spiritually, physically, because it really does help in the long run to talk about everything that's on her mind.
That Monday, we both, like I said, we both were working 2 jobs, so we both had to go to work, and I threw on my work jeans that I've had them since like my freshman year of high school, so I've always had these jeans. And I threw them on, buttoned them up, went to work, and I'm doing these deliveries, and I could not breathe. Like, my pants were so tight that I had to unbutton them in order to just be comfortable. And so I called my sister and I said, I don't know what's going on. My pants don't fit. I feel really sick, and just like, I feel like I'm out of oxygen. Like, I can't breathe. Like, the pressure in my abdomen is crazy. And so she's joking with me, and she looks up pregnancy symptoms, and I'm like telling her yes or no. And she goes, you have 10 of 12. And for guys, I'm sure girls, you know this. Guys probably don't. But when it comes to symptoms, the same symptoms for pregnancy and for your period and for ovulating, they're all the same. Like, if you Google them, over half of them are going to be the same symptom. So I kind of laughed and was like, it's probably ironic. Like, maybe I'm getting my period. And so for me, the next morning, I was like, I'll just take a test just to make sure that I'm not. And I did, and it was positive. And I kind of was like, okay. So for me, I kind of felt it, and like taking the test was just like that for sure, like, this is what you're feeling kind of a thing. So I guess, yeah, I did know. I knew pretty early.
On my side of things, I didn't know a damn thing.
No, you didn't.
I didn't know a damn thing.
You didn't. I already FaceTimed my sister. I already kind of told her that I was feeling different. And so she told me, you know, take a test in the morning, let me know what it says. And I'm like, okay, will do. So Chris and I, the schedule that we were on at the time was I worked early and he didn't. He got to sleep in a little bit longer. So I woke up in the morning and I didn't want to like be weird, so I just took it when I went to the bathroom first thing, and it was positive. Like, as I'm brushing my hair, I looked down and was like, oh my god, like, what? And I would say how I felt looking at it was relief. Like I just said, we just had that conversation about like what if it doesn't happen. So I was relieved. I was obviously happy. Like this is something that we planned, we wanted to happen. So I was very happy. And I was excited to tell Chris. But I had to leave for work like 15 minutes after I took the test. Chris was asleep. I mean, harder than a rock. So I didn't want to wake him up and be like, I took this test. I have to finish getting ready for work and then leave. And then,
hey, I'm pregnant, bye.
Right, exactly. Like, I didn't want it to be like, I wanted to let him have his moment of like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. And same with my sister. I texted her and I lied and I told her that I had gotten my period that morning. And that's why I was so bloated the night before.
She's still salty.
She's still salty. And yeah, so I mean, I felt really excited. I don't know.
But I felt really happy. I felt emotional. I felt scared. I felt nervous. I felt pretty much every emotion you can feel under the sun. Kind of mad at the same time, just because like she hadn't told me when she could have. But I understand like it's a big step. So every emotion under the sun is what I felt.
So you told Jackson.
I did tell Jackson.
Interesting. I did not know that. I thought it was someone else. I told my boss first.
Oh yeah.
So like I said, I took the test, left to go to work. And I didn't tell Chris, I didn't tell my sister. And I literally got to work. And I told my boss, I said, I need to talk to you.
That's right.
And she said, okay.
My advice to you guys would be to love on your significant other the most you can. And that when they, you know, when people say it, that communication is key, it really shows. Communication is the key to a lot of things, to how people are feeling, how happiness is, you know, the daily struggles that we all go through. And when you communicate those, both of you start to take them on instead of one person, so that you always know where your significant other is at. It's definitely a blessing to be pregnant. Some people don't get that opportunity. And, you know, just remember that you guys are always there for each other.
I would say communication is key. Obviously, when Chris brought up to me that he wanted kids, I said no. But it was that second communication was so important. Like, you can't just say no and let him wonder like when I would be ready or when, you know, we decide. I think it was huge to communicate to him my reasonings and make a plan, like make a goal. That way he doesn't feel like I'm just saying no and then wondering if it would ever happen. I would also say you have to have the hard conversations before they happen. So,
Agreed.
Like Chris and I talked about that weekend before we found out we were pregnant, we had that hard conversation of what if this isn't going to happen for us? You know, what if we have to go to the doctor? And what if something's wrong with him? What if something's wrong with me? It's, you know, that you can prepare for those feelings and kind of talk to your spouse or your partner in a neutral setting rather than not having that conversation. What if there was something, and like I wouldn't know how to support him because the emotion would be so high at that point. Like he probably wouldn't know how, you know, he would want to be supported in that situation. Same thing with after we found out I was pregnant. I gave him the test and I let him have his moment to enjoy it. And then after that, I looked at him and I said, you have to realize that I'm super early. because I just knew. I was like, I'm super early, like, I could miscarry. Like, this, just because this test says positive does not mean that it's for sure. Like, it's guaranteed that I'm not going to miscarry. And that was a hard conversation because neither of us wanted that to happen, and we, you know, were hoping for the best. But it was like that just hard conversation of, this can still happen. So I think that's important, like having those hard conversations is important. And then my last piece of advice would just be, think about the life that you want that child to have. And if it's an accident, you know, sadly you gotta hit the ground running from that point and, you know, do that. But if you have time to prepare, just think about how to set that child up for success. And I think, you know, if you, like I said, if you want to make those goals, that means you want it really bad. And I think, you know, it's telling you right there that you're ready.
Thank you guys, you know, for watching this video. If you have any questions that you didn't get answered, be sure to comment down below. Make sure you like us on Instagram and, you know, message us there as well, at the Q Life. And, you know, we hope that you guys got something out of this, and we would love to be there for you and, you know, your challenges, and to be able to relate to that.
Yeah, so hit that subscribe button, guys. We will see you next video. And that's what we got today.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.